Hi, everyone. Dr. Chris Lowe here again. And of course, these videos, I'm not quite sure if they're effective for you. But for me, I'm just sharing my experience as it relates to running companies, what has worked for me over the years. So if you think some of this might be effective for you, that's awesome. So today we're going to talk about motivating employees and what has worked for me in the past. So as it relates to my employees, what I can tell you is, for example, when a member of my staff does something outstanding, I never pass up the opportunity to celebrate that individual, right? I don't pass up on the opportunities to praise the outstanding work. I celebrate the success, high fives, lunches, bonuses. So it is a special event for me and also the employee or employees. So for me, in motivating my employees, I will tell you that I definitely use the appropriate method of reinforcement. Okay. To begin with, I eliminate unnecessary threats and punishment for my employees throughout. So, for the most part, I will tell you that for me, it is more along the lines of a 60-40 approach to my employees. What do I mean by that? So, I will say roughly 60% of the folks that have worked for me in the past were relatively good in executing their job. The other 40% were absolute nightmares for the most part. And what I will say is, before I get into the meat and potatoes of motivating employees, remember this. A shitty employee is simply that, a shitty employee. And there's no rhyme or reason as it relates to crappy employees, okay? So, with that said, let's jump into what I have used in the past for motivating my employees. Okay, so I eliminate unnecessary threats and punishment. I recognize and reward accomplishments. And so for me, each month we have our employee of the month that we celebrate throughout the organization. And then we also have our yearly employee of the year also, which we do celebrate at our yearly events, and that is a big deal for us. Now, for me, I allow my employees both flexibility and choice in executing their duties. For me, I increase employees' responsibilities through delegation. I institute programs involving goal settings. I clarify my expectations, making sure that my employees understand those expectations. I design tasks and environment to be consistent with the employee's needs. I, of course, individualize my supervision as it relates to my employees. Now, I provide immediate and relative feedback that will help improve my employees' performance. I, of course, show that I have confidence in my employees as they execute their tasks. I show interest in each individual under my supervision. All of my direct reports know this to be true. I allow individuals to participate in making decisions that affect their tasks and also that affect their role within the organization. I have established a climate of trust and open communications between me and my direct reports. I try to minimize the use of formal regulations and rules. This is important. I listen to and deal effectively with my employees' complaints. I usually point out improvements in performance, no matter how small it could be. With my employees, I criticize the behavior and not the person. And finally, I encourage my employees to engage in novel and challenging activities throughout their work life.